Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where people come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from their generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Stoney.
Hello.
As beautiful as ever.
Man, that scar is healing up, isn't it?
Looking great, man.
Yep.
Like I've said in the previous episode, and I'll say it again now, it's just good to see life back in you.
Yeah. And I heard the first couple of weeks was kind of rough. Miranda said I was looking kind of gray. And I was like, oh my God, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, it just looked like, you've probably seen people in pain before, but it's not like, that obvious. It's they're going through pain and they're hiding it pretty well.
Right.
That's what it felt like. You sitting there just like, it looked like you were going through the ringer and you weren't doing anything. I was like, man, you look like you're going through one.
But you know what? We're back now.
Right.
By the time this airs, I'll be on my way to work.
Yeah.
I can go back today and
got it again.
Light duty, of course. But that's okay. I'll be back at it and plugging along.
Got to start somewhere.
I've been looking forward to that.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, after
just sitting down just does not.
What is it? What is it? Cabin fever?
Yeah. Yeah. So if I've been looking forward to that, what are you looking forward to in the near future? What's going on with you?
Well, besides the vacation that Mallory and I...
That's coming up, right?
It's coming up next week for us. As of the recording of this show, it is our first big vacation together as a couple / since the pandemic and everything. So this is like, I'm not a big stickler on like a itinerary and plans and stuff.
That can take the fun out of things.
A little bit, but there is a certain level of preparation and stuff that I do like to do and I do like to have. And so this week is going to be that stuff for me, is like making sure everything's packed up correctly. I have all my
clean underwear, everything
you
need.
Yeah, everything you need. That, and then like making sure I always like to come home to a clean house. It's just one of those things I never thought about until like I would take little trips here and there and would come home to a dirty house and was like, I don't want to, I'm so tired. I don't want to also have to work. So I like to just like clean the house like the week before, all like the detail stuff that I wouldn't do like on a normal just Tuesday afternoon.
Right.
So clean all that stuff.
I remember Miranda and I's first vacation like that. We went to Las Vegas.
I was going to say it was Vegas, I thought.
Yes. Oh my God, that was so much fun. We had a blast, and we did it like you. We did a little bit of pre-planning, but we kind of winged some things too, and allowed us to have a really nice time and get to know each other.
Right.
You get to know somebody really well on a trip, especially a long road trip.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot can go wrong during a road trip. Yeah. And so for her and I, we have, because it's Disney, we've planned like restaurant stops because we have to have reservations for a lot of those.
Are you going to be wearing the ears?
Probably,
Really?
Yeah, I'll contribute. I'll have some fun while I'm there. I mean, I may as well. We're in the quote unquote happiest place on earth.
Right.
So there's some rides we want to see, but like the big thing that we're going for is just like the dinner experiences.
Sure.
There's also shows and stuff and all that other fun stuff. We're both really excited for Epcot. So we're really stoked about seeing all the different, like the World Series of all the different places and stuff. So that is like the immediate thing. But other than that, the holiday season.
Well, you're a great host.
Yeah.
So will you be hosting any fun functions or get-togethers or anything?
Yes. Man, I tell you, because we live in Louisiana, the weather 75% of the year is hot.
And steamy.
And wet. The air is wet. It's a weird experience. And if anybody out there has not experienced it, I'm not going to say you should, but I mean at least give it a whirl. At least try it on.
Come down at least for the food and the people and the culture
Yeah.
and things like that.
And then come right after it's 80 degrees and there's a nice hot rain that comes, and then it feels like you can swim in the air and you're walking on the ground. That's a unique experience I've never felt anywhere else, really.
Many years ago, I lived in Aspen, Colorado.
Okay.
I love the western slope. Yes. I don't really like the eastern slope. It's okay, but I love the western slope. And I was coming home, and I caught a flight on Christmas Eve. Oof. And it was -11 when I got on the plane.
Right.
And when I got, and I don't want to.
I know where this is going.
I don't want to say where we are too much, but I got off at, New Orleans airport.
Right.
And it was 85 degrees.
That sounds about right.
Christmas Eve. And I'm like, Eve. All I had was my cold clothes. And I'm like, oh my God. I wanted to strip out and just go down to shorts. And I'm like, this cannot be happening.
That sounds about right.
85 degrees.
America is a wonderful place where you get every type of land, dirt, snow, mountain, grass, all of it, swampland. And every temperature in between.
Yes.
And I think at least one of every natural disaster, probably, if you look hard enough.
Well, if you think about it, they have a map somewhere. And it's only like about this maybe 300 by 500 little area that some natural disaster has not touched.
Oh, wow.
Blizzard, tornado, hurricane, floods, or something. And it's just like this little bitty area somewhere that's never been touched by anything.
Wow.
And it's this.
Yeah.
America has it all.
Of course.
It really does.
Yeah.
And down here in South Louisiana, we have a saying, if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes, it'll change.
Right. But with that being said, you can almost guarantee that from maybe March until October, it's going to be warm out. Mm-hmm. Again, there's always room for discrepancy as far as temperature goes, but like it could sometimes be cold around in March, or cold sometimes in like late September or October. But for the most part, like it doesn't really get cold around here till November,
right?
And then usually we'll stay that way until January, February.
Well, other parts of the country, they associate football season with colder weather.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We're still warm until October, November.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It fluctuates, and
yeah,
but it's also the sportsman's paradise because for so many months out of the year you can hunt, fish, and do all the things you want to do.
Yeah, and
that's kind of cool too.
Right. So I enjoy the cold weather though. I really don't like the hot weather, which kind of sucks because of where I live at currently. But anytime it gets colder outside, I just get more active. I get like I want to do more things. It also is the holiday season, so and again, holidays were always kind of a big thing in my household. So, whenever this kind of after summer, kind of like whenever going into that autumn season, I get really excited. Right. I get really happy, and so does Mallory. And so far we bought decorations and we got some like autumnal stuff, and so we're really like gearing up for the holiday season.
Do you like Halloween?
I've never really been a big fan of Halloween, but I have nothing against it though.
Right.
She loves Halloween.
Okay.
She loves everything from basically September onward. So Halloween, I don't really think she's a big fan of Thanksgiving because I don't think her family did a whole lot. But I am, though.
Right.
And then, of course, Christmas is...
Well, see, that's a good mix for y'all.
Yeah.
That'll extend your festivities.
Yes.
And you both have something kind of vested in it, and you can lean on the other one for it and have some fun.
Right. I am planning to host a few things.
What does it take to get on that list? I'd like that to be on that invite list.
Yeah, the invite list, yeah.
Does the co-host of your show, show get one of those?
Definitely. I would love to have you at some events. One in particular that I may try and do a little differently because we have the means to facilitate it is a really nice dining room table.
Right.
I usually always have Friendsgiving. And I always try and do it the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So it's usually 2 days after Thanksgiving. You can always guarantee you can come here and there'll be food and you can just hang out and have fun. And obviously if you want to bring anything, you're welcome to. That's been the like standard amongst the friend group and anybody else that I've met with that
Sure.
I'll have my door open to for like the past like 3 or 4 years. And I have enjoyed that because I love that season. Usually hopefully it's usually like cold by then. Hopefully. Sometimes it's not. But for the most part, I feel happier during that time. I just feel more festive. It's that time of year where, again, for me at least, I try to, I know I'm thankful for the things that I do have all year round, but I think it is nice every now and then for all of us to kind of, besides all of the political correctness and all the other jargon, I'm not into all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm in it for what the name implies, just giving thanks for what you do have and being intentional about it. And I think a lot of times that kind of Friendsgiving that I do have is a chance for me to get everyone together, and a lot of magic can happen over food and drink.
Absolutely, sure.
And just to sit down and be like, I appreciate all you guys. I usually will do that anyways, like throughout the year.
Do you ask people to talk about things that they're thankful for?
I have in the past a little bit. Sometimes we do, sometimes it never really comes up. But I try to make it a point to be like, you guys are my friends. I care about you. Thank you for coming here. And I just want you to know that I'm still.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because especially after what just happened, I have so many things to be thankful for.
Oh, right.
The people that came to visit and show their support, but also Miranda's kind of an introvert, and I was really afraid that she was going to have to go through this by herself, even the day of the surgery. But to find out how many people showed up to support her and be there with her, and take their time off and be there and just throw love and support her way, I have so much to be thankful for. And then for her,
of course,
that she's an amazing woman, and I couldn't have done this without her. I literally couldn't have.
Right.
So I would have, if I actually got an invite to Friendsgiving, I might have 1 or 2 things to be thankful for. So.
I just, during that time and during that day, I think it is, like I said a few minutes ago, obviously be thankful for what you have every day.
Sure.
But sometimes it is nice to have a day where we all sit down and we really try to think about the things and be intentional about realizing the things you may not think of on a day-to-day basis. And that's what I appreciate about that. And I try to at least once a year.
I've heard someone say in the past that the happiest people are not the people who want for something, but are thankful for what they have.
All right.
So that's a good practice, just what you're talking about, just to be happy and
all come together as friends and just really think about, like, I don't know, what do you have? Or, and even the stuff that you may not have, like, is, just being in the situations that you're in and that kind of stuff. But that's, and I attribute a lot of that to the holiday season in general. This season of giving and this selflessness kind of aspect of it. And so in the next few months, I have a few things planned. I want to get you an X-Man out here to have a dinner. We can sit down and just have some fun.
Speaking of that, I remember we talked about over the last couple of weeks or before the surgery, I have that barbecue pit that I need to get to you. We need to go grab that.
Right.
Because I think you would enjoy learning off of that and seeing what's going on. So we need to go get that.
I would love that.
Maybe if we could find some time the coming weekend, if not one day after work or something.
Yeah, sure. Let's say hypothetically you and X-Man were to come over for dinner. What would you like? Is there anything in particular you want?
Not really, because I just know what kind of a host you are. I just want to come for the experience.
Okay. I'm glad to hear.
I'd like for Miranda to meet Mallory.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. I would just like the experience.
Okay. That was one thing, Mom, if you're listening out there, I had a dinner for her and members of the immediate family.
Okay.
I had them all out there. We were all sitting down, and I made dinner for 6, and it was really great because it was the first time I made, or Mallory and I as a team made all the meals, made it look really nice and pretty, paired some wine with it. It was just this really awesome experience, and I thought it was really fun. And I
what did you cook?
We cooked. So we have HelloFresh, and HelloFresh kind of gives like these recipe cards.
Okay.
And so we kind of like picked apart. What do they call it? They call it kit bashing or whatever, like in the DIY world. But it's like we took bits and pieces from different recipes that we thought were nice.
Okay.
We made one like 3-course meal out of it, and it was roasted carrots with smashed potatoes and this like meatloaf with this shredded smoked Gouda on the inside. Ooh. And it had this nice like gravy that went with it, and it was so nice. And it was like these like little small guys, but it was just this really cool. Trying to make it as pretty as we could. Like I said, I got a nice Cabernet with it, and it was a really awesome experience. And then we got my mom her favorite red velvet cake from a local market down here that makes delicious bakery goods, and it was just a really cool experience. Because after that was done, we had tea together. So it was just again, this is the first time I had like the table. Like this is the first time I had like a dining room table with chairs and a matching set, and we were able to decorate it. I haven't had one up until now, and so it was the first time I had to pull out all the stops and make it look nice. And so she was like, "Man, you're getting too bougie and high class for me," and I was like, "Nah, it's not. I'm not that much, but
you're a little bougie,
a little bit. I try
a little bit. It's okay though."
But again, it was like we've talked about in this show numerous times. It was all about the experience. I just wanted to be this wonderful, loving experience, and I think it was. But with that being said, I think that there's other things in the holiday season that I'm super excited for. Is there anything for you that you have planned in particular? Is there any like routines, or
No, where I work, we have a pretty good holiday season.
Yeah.
We have fun, so there'll be some parties at work and things like that. But going into it as a married man now, I can't wait to see how that is.
Yeah.
Even though Miranda and I have been together for over a year and a half, but we're married now. And I can't wait to see about decorating the house and cool. That kind of stuff, and just looking for the right present for her, and just spending that time with her.
This last year was the first time that Mallory and I were able to host Christmas. I had talked about it possibly in the past, but for my mom and my brothers, we had hosted them here for the first time, and I think we did it on Christmas Eve, and it was so awesome. I think we grabbed some dinner somewhere, and then we all came back to the house and sat down and opened presents, and it was super cool, and I'm really looking forward to doing that again.
So does your mom do something? Do you need to pick a day? Does your family do a main thing? Or are you trying to be the one that does the main thing?
I think because of what happened last year, I think Mallory and I are gonna start the main thing. Okay. I feel like it's what it feels like. After my parents got divorced, the holidays were tricky for a handful of years because of all that, and no one really claimed anything in particular. I think I always tried to make it a point to give my mom one day and to give my dad one day. And I tried for the longest time to give my mom Christmas Day. I was like, I want to have, because she really loved Christmas, or still loves Christmas, and it was just like her. Growing up, it was always a really big thing for her, at least what it felt like, as she wanted to make it as special as it could be for us, and it really showed. And so I wanted to, in return, do the same thing. But it's always been so difficult with schedules and stuff and all that.
Well,
but
a split family like that makes it difficult in itself.
Yeah.
So,
But this, like I said, this was the first year where I had explicitly was like, Christmas Eve, everyone take off, everyone be here at this time, and I think everything worked out, and I was super excited. So she came by with a trunk load of presents, and we all, divvied them up between each other, and it was just a really fun experience, and I'm looking forward to that again. So yeah.
So you're going to be the main gig, huh?
I mean, I hope to. Like I said, as you've said before, I like hosting, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job at it. And you know, why not? If I enjoy doing this, and I don't think Mallory minds doing it either. I think she really appreciates it and has fun with it as well.
So what do you do for Thanksgiving? So you're kind of more Christmas.
Ooh,
Mal's more Thanksgiving.
No, she's more Halloween.
She's more Halloween. Okay, so Thanksgiving's kind of just
right. We haven't done anything for Halloween yet. We did like a little something with some friends, and it was kind of fun. But she, I think, wants to go. She wants to go all out.
Okay.
And I don't think the friend group that I have that normally comes around are like super into Halloween. So I don't think it's just hard to like match her energy. You know what I mean? So I think she just needs people in her life that want to kind of go all out for Halloween and do some fun stuff. And I forgot to say, because of Thanksgiving, the one thing I want to do differently, I didn't get to, and I apologize, I'm just not realizing this, is that what I wanted to do differently is normally I would invite everyone over. We would have like a big table, and everyone would just like take their food and kind of sit amongst the house, or like, walk around and conversate and stuff. But I think I want to be a little more intentional about having like a dinner setting.
Okay.
And so I have a table that can sit 8. And so if we count Mallory and myself, I can invite 6. I can invite 6.
Right.
And I think I have a few people on the list that I think what I would want to do that with, and have like a more intimate kind of setting like that. I'm not sure about it though. I may save like that for Christmas or something, and still do a big Friendsgiving, because I don't want to exclude certain people, because I know for a fact that like if the past 2 years are any indication, I can easily have like 10-ish people, not including like my roommate and Mallory and myself. And I would feel bad to say like, oh, I'm sorry, you can't come this year because you're not on the guest list or whatever. But, so I may say that for another time.
I just have a Thanksgiving bouncer.
Right. That'd be funny. Or again, we'll just have a table outside and you guys go, no kidding. So yeah, that's a new thing, because I have a table now that can sit all these people. I'm trying to find these opportunities to like utilize that.
Sure.
Bust out the fine china and have a fun experience like that. So that's one of the many other things. And then a new passion of mine that I never would have thought of is champagne, like I've been talking about.
Right.
I have been trying so many different types of champagne, just here and there. Every now and then we'll just like go to the store, find like anybody doing like wine tasting stuff would, or at least that's what I assume is like, you find a bottle of wine or champagne that's kind of in an okay price range. You're like, I'll try it. And, you pick it up, and if it's good, it's good. If not, oh well. And you didn't break the bank on it or anything. And so I've been doing that recently. And there's a couple of them that I've noticed that I really enjoy. Some of them have been, just all right. But I'm super excited for these events like that.
Sure. So you can bust something out.
I know. Yeah. Right. And I love that is,
so that means obviously when you get back from your vacation, we're going to have to go back to Total Wine.
Yes. Oh man.
And see what they have over there. Right?
I've been wanting to go back so bad. There's a particular kind called Paul Roger, and I've only got one bottle of it before, and it's a really nice champagne. And so far that has been my favorite. But it's more in the like I think $50 to $60 range.
That's not too bad.
It's not bad. But because of the nature of champagne, after you open it, I have some seals like rubber corks that are pressure seals. So it does keep the pressure, but it still only really lasts for about a week.
Right.
Or, give or take. And even still, kind of towards the tail end of that week is when it starts to not have the life that it used to.
Right.
So that's where it gets a little hard for me to like, just want to drop $50-$60 on some champagne here. Unlike a bottle of whiskey.
Also gives you an excuse to go ahead and just drink the bottle of champagne.
Exactly. Unlike, a nice whiskey that you can spend $50-$60 on and you can sip on for, 6 months or so, which is also nice. But yeah, I've liked wine here and there, but I realized over these past probably 4 or 5 months, just trying different ones and being adventurous with it.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to like still wine, and I was like, I like it, but like the sparkling wine is really nice. And then I tried some other ones and stuff like that.
I'm a red wine person.
Yeah,
I like red wine.
I'm
really not into the white wine.
Yeah,
unless it's very specific and intentional.
Okay,
but I really like red wine.
I like red wine with food a lot of times. Just sipping on it, sometimes it's a little. Or I guess it also depends on the type.
If you have red meat.
Yeah.
Good red wine is just,
it is. It's really good.
Sometimes with fish and chicken, a nice white wine is fine.
Right.
But a good red wine with an Italian meal or some French meals is just, it's perfect.
Is there a type of red wine that you like a lot? I know there's a whole like different varieties of them.
I like a lot.
Okay.
There's very few, but I won't put some with certain things. Just it varies.
My middle brother has been a bartender for a long time, and he likes the dry stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He likes the Malbec, the Merlot, all those like really really full bodied ones. At least I think that's what that is. So, Yeah. But anyways.
So, are you looking forward to anything coming into the new year? What are you looking for? Are you going to start flight lessons or what?
Dude, I really want to.
It's time.
It is.
Yes.
I don't want to say this on the podcast for fear of some nosy listeners hearing something, but I bought something rather big.
Okay.
And I've already paid off the vacation.
Right.
And then I've purchased something else that is a very big life expense, let's put it that way to keep it vague for the studio audience.
Okay. Yep.
Is that set me back a little bit.
Okay.
But in the best way possible, though. Like, don't get me wrong.
No regrets.
No regrets set back at all.
Yes. So you got to recover from that, and then put a little kitty aside for the flight lesson.
Exactly, gotcha. Because it's going to be a couple $grand as well to start that process. I don't want to also try and double down in case of an emergency, and then I'm swimming in debt that I can't get out of.
That's smart,
right? So, but yes, hopefully, like in the tail end of this year, or maybe even the beginning of next year.
Right.
I would really love to do that, and I would want to start the process on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I am planning on, hopefully for New Year's and other big events, spending a little money on some champagne like we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a chance yet, but I do, and I know it's expensive, but I do want to buy a bottle of Dom Perignon for New Year's. Because I've been enjoying all this champagne, I feel like what better way to really splurge on some than in a moment like that when it is culturally acceptable to probably splurge on some alcohol. So that is a little bookmark hopefully that I'll get to.
Okay.
So yeah, what about yourself? I bought Blue Label for the first time.
Did you?
Yeah. I think it was a year or two ago.
Right.
With my brother. He and I went halvesies on it. We poured that
I remember that.
For New Year's. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking to get back to work. I'm looking to finish the recovery. And I'm looking to see what my life with Miranda is going to be like.
Yeah.
It's an adventure.
Oh,
it's a joy. I'm kind of excited about that. Maybe some opportunities at work will open up.
Right.
And just see where it goes.
Do you have like follow-up appointments with your doctor? I know you said something about it, but do they have like a stop gaps or whatever?
Absolutely. They wanted to do a couple of rapid fire MRIs, and I think that'll start in 2 months just to make sure that they got everything. That it's not growing. So I think 2 months, 1 month, and then 2 months they'll do a couple of MRIs right behind each other, and then there's follow-ups for the scalp adhering to the skull. Yeah, and then just regular health. It's the end of the year. I have my physical coming up for work, but then the diabetes took a beating in the hospital.
Right.
So we're trying to get that back down under control.
Man, a lot of things to juggle.
Yes. So part of next year is just looking forward to being hopefully healthy for a change.
Yeah.
And just enjoying life. We got married right before the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that I am looking forward to is after I'm healed and got my energy back, we want to redo the ceremony with a lot of people and have a big party.
Oh, yeah.
And then go on a honeymoon together.
That's really cool.
I think one of the things I've been talking about is going to Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that,
They have a big crystal mine there.
Right.
A diamond mine also.
Wow.
But I think it would be really cool, to spend the time with Miranda in a little cabin out in the mountains. Yeah. But then take a day and maybe hopefully find this big crystal that we could have mounted on a plaque and say, found on our honeymoon, 2022. And
right, that's super cool.
Have something that can last and we could look at for the next 25 years. I think that would be awesome.
That is really cool.
So I'm looking forward to that. Just, getting that situated and planned out.
Mallory is a very adventurous person and wants to travel more. And so we kind of made an agreement that we would like to, at least every year, if not every other year, like try and travel even just a little bit, even if it's not like going all out. Take a small trip every year or so, or just a road trip somewhere and just kind of have a chance to get out again as a couple and just see the world, because we're still young and we still have all the time in the world to do that kind of stuff. And we still have some disposable income to do that as well. And then maybe like every couple of years do like a big trip like we did for Disney, where we like really splurge and go crazy. So hopefully this Disney trip has taken the better part of like 4 or 5 months to really like totally pay off and like plan and get ready. So we were looking to like what does like the beginning of the new year, what does like that the rest of that year look like where else we want to go. She wants to go like to Seattle. I want to go like somewhere like Montana, like up in the mountains, or I want to go see like the West Coast side of stuff, because I've seen a lot of the East Coast over here, and I've also been to
try the western slope of Colorado.
Okay,
go to Aspen, Vail, Breckenridge, any of those places.
Yeah, I've seen.
Go to Glenwood Springs, Colorado, where Doc Holliday. You can go to his actual grave site.
Yeah,
that's where at 35 years old he passed in his bed from tuberculosis, but. Those places are just fantastic.
Right. I've seen numerous beaches, and I have nothing against them, but I know I'm like a trail, mountain, forest guy.
Right.
And I haven't had a chance to see that very often, especially not in like those iconic places like that, like you're talking about, that are just these like beautiful.
One of the things that the Continental Divide is the Rocky Mountains.
Right.
So that's what that is.
Yeah.
And the first time, maybe not in a car, but on a motorcycle or something like that.
Yeah.
And you go over the Continental Divide from east to west. And you think about this big interstate here, but what happened to the people that went on a little trail?
Oh, yeah.
How badly they really wanted to get to that other side.
Right.
And you look at the scenery around you, and they did it walking, and they did it on horses, and they did it on wagons. How bad they really wanted to get to the other side.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You got to do that.
I would love that.
And then there's a point that you can go down called Four Corners, where you can stand on this one plaque and stand in your body is actually in 4 different states at the same time.
That's really cool.
That's insane. That's awesome.
Wow. That's really awesome. I love that. And so it's just things like that I want to do. There's also, I've talked about this before on the show. It's like I want to go to Banff, Alberta, Canada, the Canadian Rockies up in Canada. There's it's the same thing with like Alaska, even there, like in that kind of that same longitudinal line of like these beautiful mountains, these huge evergreen trees, and the wonderful water, blue skies, snow-capped mountains. I'm like, I want so badly to go experience that for myself, and so. That's where we're planning on going. Again, one of like the kind of more lofty ideas we thought about like kind of to spend a little extra money on. So we either love to go to Europe, or we were talking about Iceland. We thought it'd be really cool to go to Iceland.
Iceland?
Yeah. There's like a whole ring road that goes like around it, and you can see basically like everything that Iceland has to offer on that road that goes around Iceland. There's all the different like landmarks and these different things, and you can obviously like go in, but like for the most part, it's all there. And there's like tour guides, or there's like if you there's it's like a guide online that like you can follow, where if you're there for a whole week, it kind of just takes you through the process of like if you start here, you can theoretically hit all the major landmarks in a week, before you have to go home or whatever. So we were thinking about that possibly, but that's kind of hopefully we gotta save up for that one. But yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad to hear that you're doing good, and then the future is looking bright and looking good.
It's going to be good. Well, it's nice to be back to the podcast, and I think the whiteboard looks kind of full. I see some pretty good subjects on there, and as my brain gets attuned more to this, and I can get back to studying and research, and at least challenge you a little bit. Yeah, I can't wait to get to more, deep subjects and conversations. Right. Because the world is really interesting right now, and it needs us. Right. So it needs us talking about stuff. I know that Sam has been tuning in. So Sam, if you're listening out there, I want to get you back on. Absolutely. I'll probably be messaging you really soon, actually, to ask if you want to be part of the show again. Because I really enjoyed talking with you. So. Yeah, we need to get Sam back. Yeah. And Miranda's always a delight to have on this show. Yes. Not that I'm biased or anything, but she's a doll, and it's good to have her on here. Right. But I'm excited to see where this show goes as well. I'm excited, and I got the chance to talk to X-Man not too long ago, and he had offered like maybe I could pop back on sometime. Yes, just, I saw him and I asked him, would you be willing to come back? And he's like, I would come back for one. We need to make that happen. Yes, I would really love that as well. Yeah. Get the whole band back together. Wouldn't that be awesome? It would be really cool. I think it'd be a blast from the past. I miss having this show with him a little bit. I think the listeners would like that too. Yeah, I definitely think so. We get some feedback from some people, and we enjoy that feedback too. But I think they would enjoy that. Yeah. So. Well, is there anything else you want to? I think we're good. I'm excited for what's coming up. I'm excited to see if I make that the invite list on any of those things you got coming up. I will. Yes, I will try my best to. If maybe not. If I can't facilitate having everyone at one party, then I will make two parties. Right. Trust me, I'll find a way to make it happen. So, I've done some after parties in my life, so Right. So yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. If you're looking to check us out or reach out to us, you can go to facebook.com/retrospectpod, and you can reach out to us that way, or you can type in Retrospect on any of your major podcasting platforms and find us that way, or our link tree /retrospectpod, same sort of thing. Have all of it. And if you have any any comments, let us know. And if you have any subjects that you'd like to hear us tackle, let us know. Exactly. We're not opposed to looking at other things that just would interest us. We want to interest you and keep you engaged and hear your responses, and we'd like to talk about what y'all want to hear too. So exactly. But until next time, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye. Peace.